Welcome to Knicksfandom. This is an independent New York Knicks fan-based podcast, which was created by fans for fans. The show is hosted by Blackwell, Danny, and Flau. They'll discuss the issues surrounding the Knicks, the NBA, and various other sports-related topics. Join us. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
I got the keys, and we got what you need. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 13 of our podcast known as Knicksfandom. It's great to be back. I'm your host, Blackwell. Hope all our listeners are doing great out there. I'm glad to be joined by our co-host, Flo. How are things, Flo?
I'm great today. How are you doing today, man?
Well, brother. As usual, I'm also joined by my other fellow co-host, Danny D. How you been doing, Danny D?
I'm good, LA. What's going on?
All right. Good to see y'all. Good to hear y'all right now. Okay, we're gonna get right into our special episode of Knicksfandom. And in our first segment, we're gonna have tip off. As usual, tip off is a short segment where we each usually pick one personal topic that we have been thinking about and would like to present in a group format. The topic may pertain to any type of NBA or sports related topic that we find interesting, and in turn, hopefully you, the listener, will also find interesting. To start off this week, Danny, do you have anything to discuss in regards to our tip-off segment?
Oh, yes, I really do, guys. So we're going to sit together and do a round discussion, right? So over the weekend, you know that President Trump put an anti-ban, right, muzzle on several Muslim countries so that they cannot come into the U.S. based on visas and things like that. But now let's think about the NBA. We have some NBA players who are from those banned countries. For example, we have Milwaukee Bucks, Thon Maker, and we also have Luol Deng. So the thing comes in when they go to Toronto and play, are they allowed to come back? So according to Michael C. Wright for ESPN, they are, but it has some stipulations. So Thon Maker was only able to come back because he has an Australian passport, and Luol Deng is a dual citizen. So he has a British passport. So overall, it's very affecting some players. So now when we really think about it, not just for NBA, let's think about all our other American players that play overseas, guys. So they're saying that two American basketball players, Joseph Jones and J.P. Prince, according to Michael C. Wright, play in the Iran Super League. They went to Dubai for when they have the break, so what I'm saying, they have a winter break to play. When they came back, Iran just put a ban on American citizens. So they can't even come back to Iran to get up their stuff. They're banned from the country. That's where they live at.
Wow.
All their possessions, their pictures and stuff like that. And if you don't come back to Iran, you can't play. Therefore, you do not get paid. So they're stranded in Dubai. What do y'all think about this, guys?
That's a very poignant topic right now, A lot going on in the world, foreign and abroad. I didn't really think about it regarding the NBA, how it would affect all sports teams to think about that. Which is, not to get too political, but that's what happens. You paint everybody with broad paintbrush. You're affecting not only the ones you worrying about overall with the terrorism and things of that nature, but you're also affecting players that you have no reason to worry about. So, like you said, they definitely got to make an exception for those type of players and not even have to worry about, although they did have an injunction with a federal judge this week regarding the same topic. But, it's only for as of right now. It's still on the table that the same thing could still be happening. So, I don't know. It's between a rock and a hard place thinking about it. I'm not really sure. What you think about Flo? What do you think about Flo right now?
Honestly, it's real tough because these players, this is how they make their money. They're traveling to different places. It's very tough to restrict them from going back to Iran. And even what Danny mentioned in regards to the NBA players, I believe that the Brooklyn Nets starting small forward, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, is a Muslim. And he had actually made a comment that this is pretty much BS. Because pretty much you're targeting a specific group without merit. And that's really a problem. At the end of the day, he's trying to make money playing basketball. The same thing with Thon Baker and also with Luol Deng. This is their career. They shouldn't be limited to go to certain countries just to play ball. That's not right at all. You know, I'm hoping that the NBA will continue to inquire with the State Department in terms of getting more information so that these players won't be limited.
Very true. Very true. How about you, Danny D? You brought up the topic. What you think about it overall?
Yeah, it's very disheartening. People like that just trying to mind their business to just provide for their family and for their career. So, it's really between a hard and a rock place. And, what do you do? So it's very the thought process when process and orders go down. Sometimes it's not thought out very, very well, because sometimes when it's not affecting you personally, it's like you turn a blind eye to it. You don't care. And it's really affecting people. So, not only for ball players and things like that, just human beings, everybody's trying to make a living and better themselves. And it's very disfortunate right now. I feel sad for some people who can't come through and things like that of that nature.
Very true. Very true. Troubling times. Yeah. Definitely got to keep an eye on that, But thank you very much for that, Danny D. Really appreciate that that tip-off topic. How about you, Flo? Do you have a tip-off topic for today?
LA, pretty much. According to CSNN's A. Sherrod Blakely of CSNNE.com, the Boston Celtics talked to the Orlando Magics about a potential deal involving center Nikola Vujovic. He's averaging 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists this season. Keep in mind, he has 19 double-doubles this year, while the Boston Celtics, as an entire team, have 21 double-doubles this season. Pretty much, I don't know what Boston is offering to Orlando. I know that with Orlando, they're definitely trying to unload some pieces that they have. This will be a bad trade. For Knicks fans, this would be a bad trade if Boston acquires Mr. Vujovic. So, guys, I want to know what's your take on this.
Thank you, Flo. I agree. I think that would be a bad trade for the Knicks, but I think it'd be a good trade for Boston. They definitely could use some more size. They got their power forward basically playing out of position to me at center. I don't really like that with Hoff and everything. So I prefer if you did get a player like that. He's a big body. He takes up space. And, he definitely could put the ball in the hole. So if you can get a play like that and not give up too much, I would definitely make that move on Boston. They got a lot of draft picks. They got a lot of pieces. So I see it as a win with them. But Orlando, I don't really see it. As you're saying, they didn't really state what they were getting back. So it's hard to really judge it. But, right now the Knicks are basically, they got to just worry about themselves right now. They can't even worry about the other teams. They got to take care of themselves, take care of their own games. How about you, Danny? What you think about this potential trade that Flo brought about?
It'd be great for Boston because, they have to add another weapon to the repertoire depending on who they have to give up to go back to Orlando. Depending on what it is, I don't know if Orlando's trying to get younger because they have a lot of young players. But it'd be a great, great move for the Celtics, and they'll have a stacked team depending on who they have to give up.
Okay. And how about you, Flo? Thank you, Danny. How about you? What you think about this proposed trade?
I don't like this trade at all for Orlando, pretty much, because I'm not even too sure what Boston's offering. I mean, if they're offering their own draft pick for Vujovic, if I'm Orlando, I'll turn this deal down. I would rather be asking Boston for the Brooklyn Nets pick and an expiring contract for Nikola Vujovic if I'm Orlando.
No, that sounds good to me. I would like that better as well, But, we'll see what happens. We still have a little time before the trade deadline, which I believe is around the 23rd of February. So, we'll see what happens, basically. Thank you very much, Flo. I appreciate that. And for me, my tip-off segment question is pretty short. It's just basically I was thinking about an article I saw regarding Phil Jackson. And I know he has about basically, I think, 2 years left on his contract or something of that nature. And it was saying, would they think he's going to come back? And they said they think he's going to be like all in. And I was like, I really didn't think about him coming back. I thought maybe his contract was up. That would be it. So I was trying to think, what do you think would take to make Dolan want to keep Phil, or basically make him just want to toss his hands and say that'd be it? Do you think he has just too much involved and he got to let him see it through? Or you think Phil is connected to Melo and that trade, if that happens, and what's based on that between the next 2 years? I know it's kind of hard to look in the future, but I'm just trying to see if you like Dolan, where you see you right now with Phil. And that I'm saying they basically would want an extension. I know how you would feel with that, Flo, but I'll start with you, Flo. How about you?
LA, pretty much, you already know how I feel about this. Phil Jackson must go, pretty much, when his contract has an out clause come July 1st. I know it was put in there because of a potential NBA strike, but if I'm Mr. Dolan, I'm firing Phil Jackson on the spot come July 1st. And go look for a real basketball mind that's qualified to be a president of basketball operations, not pretty much a Hall of Fame head coach that's pretty much an intern in this position as president of basketball operations with the Knicks. Phil must go, pretty much. And if you look at his record per se, the only coach that has a winning record under Phil Jackson is the coach that he originally fired from day one. And that's Mike Woodson, who has a record of 10-5 under Phil Jackson. Overall, Mr. Jackson has a 35% winning percentage as president of basketball operations, which is pretty much 80 wins and 148 losses. That's not getting the job done, fellas. It's time to move on. Let's put an end to the Phil Jackson era and start fresh.
Okay. Thank you, Flo. What you think about that, Danny D? What you think would keep Dolan wanting to let Phil fill it out?
Hold on. Let me call Derek Fisher and see what he has to say. Derek, you on the line? You on the line, Derek? What's that, Derek?
Wow.
You still getting paid?
Oh wow,
You still getting paid? Really? Nah, Phil got to go, man. Phil got to go. He got to go. It's no. What are we basing on? Phil doesn't even. He doesn't scout, recruit. He don't go traveling. How you a GM and you not traveling and scouting to see what's going on to get us good players and stuff like that? Hey, by the way, he got KP. He got paid. What has he done for us lately? If we was making the playoffs every year, you know what? I'd be like, you know what, Phil, you cool. Then he made a debacle. Joakim Noah, $72 million. Really? Nah. James has to really sit down. Mr. Dolan actually has to really sit down and look at the pros and cons. And you remember, Phil, like y'all said, he's a Hall of Famer. What did he use that Hall of Fame? Luke didn't want to come here. Steve Kerr didn't want to come here. You know why? Because they had common sense. They knew.
I think that's the thing that hurt it more than anything right there. I think he's brought here to bring in the LeBrons or the Durant, and he missed on both of them.
You're the Hall of Famer. You got 10, 11 rings. Everybody's supposed to come through here because you Phil.
They're supposed to be like Pat Riley, you know.
Like I told you, Pat Riley doesn't have 11 rings. He brought everybody. Thanks a lot, Phil. Thanks for nothing.
Hard to argue with that. I was just, I just want to put that out there. I saw it in the article, and I was trying to think what would make him want to keep him. Even if the Knicks made the playoffs and made a little bit of a run, I don't know if that'd be enough to make him want to put his eggs in his basket and try to see if he can finish the job he started. I wouldn't go that road. I'd rather see what else is out there at this point, but we will see, But, thank you very much for that tip-off segment, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Okay, and as I was stating, right into our next segment, which is the NBA Honorable Mentions. Yay! And starting with you, Danny D. Do you have an NBA Honorable Mention for us today?
My honorable mention is going out to my main man. Wasn't my main man for a little bit, but he's stepping up around, is Dion Waiters from the Miami Heat. For the last 5 games, he's averaging 23 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds, and he hit a deadly 3 on the Golden State Warriors and the Brooklyn Nets back-to-back games for a W. It's my boy, Dion Waiters, Miami Heat. Do your thing, man. Keep it up.
Very good. Yeah, I saw that. I even saw Durant was feeling sick about it. He's like, I hated Waiters hitting that game winner. So, it was good to see that, good pick right there, Danny D. Thank you. How about you, Flo? What's your NBA honorable mention for the week if you have one?
LA, I'm sorry to be annoying, but once again, my honorable mention of the week is Oklahoma City Thunder point guard Russell Westbrook. who's pretty much averaging 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, and 2 steals in the 3 games that Oklahoma City Thunder played last week, where they're finished with a record of 3-0. So once again, a regular. My honorable mention of the week, Oklahoma City Thunder point guard, Russell Westbrook.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good. And they had a tough loss today. You know, I think they lost to Cleveland. A tough loss. I mean, he got another triple-double today, though. But the game wasn't that close as you would hope. But very good pick there, Flo. Thank you. For my pick, I picked my homeboy, The Process, you know. That's my guy, Joel Embiid, 76ers. And recently, within a week or so, they went 3-0. He averaged 22 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, and he's an NBA leading 3.67 blocks per game. And he also made 29 free throws to match Chicago Bulls' Jimmy Butler in the East. So, you know, right now he's putting it together. He's playing very well, even though it's restricted minutes. But, you know, that's my guy, Joel Embiid, The Process. Thank you very much, fellas. And that was our NBA Honorable Mentions of the Week. And now, listeners, please stay tuned. We take a short message around the break. Immediately following the break, we'll jump right into our NBA hot topic. Okay, thank you, people. Hey, everyone. Quick reminder. Please subscribe, share, and give a positive review of the podcast when you have a chance on iTunes. It'd be very much appreciated. You also can find links to our show on Spreaker.com, Stitcher.com, Pocket Cast, and then we're also on Google Play. You also can find links to our show on our Facebook fan page, which is also known as Knicksfandom. In addition, if you have any comments or have any mailbag questions you'd like us to address on the show, you can submit them via email at knicksfandom@yahoo.com. Lastly, this is also an independent podcast that is not officially affiliated with the New York Knicks at this point and all time. Now back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Thank you very much, listeners. We're back, and as was stated previously, we jump into our hot topic. And for our hot topic today, in our opinion, we just wanted to figure out who was the most overpaid, overvalued NBA players versus who are some of the most underpaid, undervalued NBA players in our opinion, based on basically individual stats, the team record, NBA overall record, and salary, and how that, you know, corresponds with their individual players in that regard. Starting with you, Danny D, who would you consider the most quote-unquote overrated, overplayed, and overvalued NBA player?
Listen, guys. There's a lot going on this year with overpaid and overvalued players. My guy that I'm picking is going to be Chandler Parsons for the Memphis Grizzlies. All right? He had 2 knee surgeries. And Memphis gave him 4 years, $94 million. For the last 2 seasons, he only played up to 66 games. And I don't think he's averaging more than 10 points or 18 minutes per game right now. That's for me. Overpaid, overvalued is Chandler Parsons. $94 million for 4 years. Ridiculous.
Thank you very much. Okay, Flo, how about you? Who you consider your most overpaid and overvalued NBA player, quote unquote?
LA, believe it or not, great minds think alike, because I actually agree with Danny D, because that's the player I wanted to talk about in full detail. Memphis Grizzlies small forward Chandler Parsons, pretty much. Signed a max contract. He had 2 knee surgeries. One of them was a hybrid microfracture surgery in 2015, and the second surgery was a surgery to correct a torn meniscus. In his 2-year career with Dallas, he's never played more than 66 games this season. 66 games in a season. Also, this season with the Memphis Grizzlies, he hasn't even played a back-to-back game yet. He's averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He's shooting 37% from the field, 26% from the three-point line in 20 games. So I actually agree with Danny D. The NBA's most overpaid player is Memphis Grizzlies small forward Chandler Parsons.
Okay, thank you, Flo. Much appreciated. And for my pick, I went a little different. I went to Mr. Omar Sheik. You know, that's who I picked. Basically, he's making $9 million this year, and he basically signed a contract of 5 years, $57 million, and he has not lived up to that contract at all. He's only averaging 2.8 points per game and 5.4 rebounds. So right now, that's atrocious numbers right now to me. So that was the player I picked right now. And they still had to at least another 3 years to worry about it. So, you know, the Brown going to have to really do his thing, or they have to try to make a deal and find some way to get rid of him, because he's not really adding nothing to that team at this point. Any debates regarding our picks that any you would have? Go ahead, Flo.
Let me add to this. Pretty much, I think that Phil Jackson would be interested in Omar Sheik. You know, he likes to get high salary players and give away our players for free. So I think Omar Sheik will probably be a Knick real soon by Phil Jackson.
He probably had Chandler Parsons in that deal too, right?
Oh, pretty much. I'm sure he'll trade Melo to Memphis for Chandler Parsons. I'm pretty sure of it.
Sign me up. No, thank you. I want no part of that. Thank you.
Exactly.
I hear you, Flo. Definitely agree. Thank you, fellas, for that one. And we got to do the other side of the coin. So who you consider your most underpaid or undervalued NBA player right now, Danny D?
Well, I can say I can't. When I say underpaid and undervalued, for the person I'm going to pick is actually going to be an all-star and a Celtic, Isaiah Thomas. Okay. He signed a 4-year, $27 million deal out in Sacramento. This year, guys, he's an all-star. You know how much he's getting paid this year? $6.5 million for this season.
Wow.
An all-star. $6.5 million. As an all-star. Enough said.
He's going to be yelling, show me the money very soon.
Yeah. 6 point. If I was him, I would opt out. Like, I refuse to play. I don't care what my contract says. Nah, I'm not. No. Chance and Paul, he's going to make like $16 or $17 million this year.
I hear you. Thank you very much, Danny D. I appreciate that. How about you, Flo? Who's your most undervalued and underpaid player in the NBA right now, quote unquote? Just our opinion, folks.
LA, once again, great minds think alike. I have Boston Celtics point guard Isaiah Thomas like Danny had. Pretty much in his first season with the Celtics, where he was traded from Phoenix, he led the Celtics to a 40-42 season in 2015 as a six-man, averaging pretty much 19 points per game. And last season, led them to the playoffs. This season, he's averaging 29 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He's shooting 47% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. And like Danny D mentioned, he's making that $6.5 million this year. I want to quote Isaiah Thomas when he heard about all these guys making all this money in the offseason. The first thing that came out of Isaiah Thomas's mouth is pretty much, the Celtics better have the Brinks truck ready for me.
I got to get his money, man. He's playing well. He's playing well above his contract right now. Got to agree with y'all with that. Thank you, Flo. Much appreciated. And for my most undervalued player right now, logistically, I would definitely say overall it should be LeBron James, really. If it wasn't a salary cap, consider how much money he brings into that franchise and that team overall. And just seeing how that team numbers went up since he came back. And he's pretty much guaranteed every time to be in the finals with him on your team, you know. But numbers-wise, I would have to go with Avery Bradley right now of the Celtics as well. He's making about $8.2 million. He's only averaging 17 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, and 2.4 assists per game. He's basically the 52nd best paid guard in the NBA right now. So to me, I think he's definitely underpaid right now, undervalued. I would like to see him in a Knicks uniform as well.
LA,
go ahead, Flo.
Can we trade him for Joakim Noah?
Hey, I signed it up if I could get it. But I don't think they're going to do that right now. You know, Noah's stock is so low. It's hard to see where he going to go right now. It's tough move right there with that one. How about you, Danny D? Any questions or any issue with any of the picks we have for either overvalued or undervalued players?
No. Another person I can add is Katavius Caldwell Popewell from Detroit, because he can ball. I like how he stepped, and he signed basically a 4-year, $11.9 million. He's only getting paid between 2.9 and $3.6 million this year.
Wow. Very true.
Yeah, yes.
Definitely a bargain.
Yes, sir. 4 years, and this is his third year. I don't think he can opt out. He still has like another year. Yeah, I think it's roughly around like $3.6 million this year. Last year he only got paid 2.9.
Okay. And how about you, Flo? Anything else you want to add to this hot topic?
No, pretty much you guys hit it right on the head. Me and Danny D agreed. Pretty much great minds think alike. And with your picks, LA, I have no arguments whatsoever.
Okay. Same here, fellas. I definitely agree with y'all picks as well. I definitely can see where y'all was coming from. Another guy that kind of stood out a little bit, it's a little early, he just signed a contract, was Alan Crabb from, what's the team went to? Portland? He got $18 million right now. Yeah. $18.5 million. He's only averaging 10.7 points per game and 2.9 rebounds. And he's basically the 10th best paid guard in the NBA. So looking at the numbers in that way, I was like, wow, he's really getting overpaid right now. And as a guy I was really wanted the Knicks to take a look at, he's definitely not living up to it. Courtney Lee's playing much better than him right now. So the Knicks kind of dodged that one. But, it's still early in this contract. He's still young. Maybe he could turn around. But thank you very much, fellas.
That's hopefully.
Yep. Very true. Thank you very much, fellas, for that hot topic. And in that regards, do you have any other closing remarks you'd like to add for today's show? Starting with you, Danny D.
Just want to thank the fans and thank LA for having me on this show, and we're going to keep on doing what we're doing.
Okay, much appreciated. Thank you there, Danny. How about you, Flo? Any closing remarks for today's show?
As always, I want to thank all the listeners. We have the greatest listeners in the world. We have the greatest show. LA, you're doing an excellent job. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on this show.
Much appreciated. Thank you for the accolades. Couldn't do without you, brothers. You're definitely doing a great job. And definitely appreciate listeners as well. We need a big thank you to you. Without y'all, there is no us. I enjoy doing this show as well. Continue to spread the word and have a great week, everyone. Be well. Take it easy. See ya.